You know that feeling when your retirement account finally hits $1 million? For a second, it feels like you won. 7 figures. The number is sitting right there on the screen. The number everyone told you would mean safety, freedom, peace. The moment where you could finally stop worrying and start living. And then something uncomfortable happens. You realize $1 million is not a paycheck. It's not guaranteed income. It's not protection from medical bills, inflation, market crashes, taxes, or living 10 years longer than you expected. It's just a pile of money. And the real retirement question is not whether you can build the pile. The real question is whether you can survive on it. That's the part nobody prepares you for. Most financial advice teaches you how to save, how to invest, how to contribute to your 401k, how to buy index funds, how to chase the $1 million number. But almost nobody teaches you what happens after you get there. How do you turn that money into income? How do you spend it without destroying it? How do you withdraw from it during a market crash? How do you pay for healthcare when your body starts sending bills your budget never expected? And how do you enjoy retirement without checking your portfolio like it's a countdown timer? That's why Nobel Prize-winning economist William Sharpe called retirement spending, or decumulation, the nastiest, hardest problem in finance. Because saving the money is simple compared to the part nobody wants to talk about. Turning that money into income without watching it disappear. And this is where the $1 million retirement lie starts to crack. Because most people hear millionaire and imagine freedom. But if you use a safe withdrawal rate around 3.9%, that $1 million portfolio produces about $39,000 a year. That's roughly $3,250 a month before taxes. And suddenly, the word millionaire feels a lot less powerful. You're not living like someone with endless money. You're living like someone trying to make one pile of money last for the rest of your life. That is a completely different game. When you're working, your paycheck hides your mistakes. Overspend this month? Another paycheck comes. Car repair? Another paycheck comes. Medical bill? Another paycheck comes. You bought too much house? Another paycheck comes. You made a dumb financial decision? Painful, sure, but another paycheck comes. But in retirement, the paycheck stops. Now your portfolio has to become the paycheck, and every dollar you pull out is a dollar that can't recover when the market drops. That's the part that sounds obvious once you hear it, but most people never feel it until it's too late. Before retirement, your money is climbing. After retirement, your money is being asked to climb while you're also cutting pieces off of it every month. That's not the same thing. That's not even close. And this is why two people can retire with the same $1 million and live completely different lives. One feels rich, the other feels trapped. Same account balance, totally different reality. Because if your life costs $3,000 a month, $1 million feels powerful. If your life costs $8,000 a month, $1 million feels fragile. If your house is paid off, your cars are paid off, your spending is flexible, and Social Security covers most of your basic needs, $1 million can feel like freedom. But if you still have a mortgage, car payments, high insurance, expensive healthcare, adult kids depending on you, and a lifestyle that refuses to shrink, that same million can feel terrifying. That's the lie. They taught you to chase the number. They didn't teach you to measure the pressure on the number. And pressure is everything. Because a retirement portfolio is not judged by how impressive it looks. It's judged by how much weight it can carry without breaking. And most people don't know how much weight their retirement is actually carrying. They know the balance. They don't know the burn rate. They know the milestone. They don't know the margin. They know they want to retire. They don't know what one bad year could do to the entire plan. And retirement has a way of attacking the parts of the plan you forgot to protect. It's not always the big dramatic disaster. Sometimes it's the boring stuff. A roof repair, dental work, a new car because the old one finally dies, helping a child who's struggling, a medication that costs more than expected, a property tax bill that keeps going up, an insurance premium that quietly becomes ridiculous, a home repair that can't be delayed, a spouse needing care, a medical bill that doesn't care how disciplined you were in your 30s. Boston College's Center for Retirement Research found that 83% of retired households face at least one unexpected expense in a given year. Not once in a lifetime, in a given year. And when those costs are smoothed across retirement, the average comes out to about $6,000 a year. That may not sound catastrophic when you're still working, but in retirement, $6,000 is not just an expense, it's pressure. It's one more withdrawal, one more adjustment, one more reason to wonder whether the money is going to last. And that's where retirement becomes psychologically brutal, Because you may not be broke, but you also don't feel free. You have money, but you're afraid to spend it. You have a portfolio, but you don't trust it. You have the number, but you still feel exposed. And that might be the most dangerous financial place to be. Not broke, almost rich. Because when you're broke, the problem is obvious. It's painful, but at least it's honest. But when you're almost rich, everything looks fine from the outside. You have the respectable account balance. You have the nice house. You have the story people admire. You look like the person who did everything right. But underneath, the math is tight. Too tight. And tight math creates quiet panic. You don't feel poor enough to make dramatic changes, but you don't feel rich enough to relax. So you get stuck. Too wealthy to feel sympathy. Too fragile to feel free. And this is why the million-dollar myth is so dangerous. It gives people a finish line that feels clear, but it doesn't explain what happens after they cross it. Because after the finish line, there is no finish line. There are groceries, taxes, utilities, insurance, healthcare, inflation, market cycles, family emergencies, and maybe 20, 30, or even 40 years of withdrawals. Retirement is not a finish line. It's a bridge. And every month, you walk across that bridge while pieces of it are moving. Now here's where it gets even darker. A lot of people don't even retire when they plan to. They imagine this perfect timeline. Work until 65, save consistently, choose the right day, walk away on their own terms. But life doesn't always ask for your permission. Health problems happen, companies restructure, careers end earlier than expected, energy changes, family responsibilities show up, age discrimination becomes real. And suddenly, the plan you built for someday becomes the plan you need right now. That's why early or forced retirement is so dangerous. Not because retiring early is bad, but because being pushed out before your money is ready can completely change the math. If you plan to work 5 more years, that's 5 more years of contributions you don't make. 5 more years of growth you don't get. 5 more years of withdrawals your portfolio now has to cover. And maybe 5 fewer years before Social Security or other income sources begin. That's not a small difference. That can be the difference between a retirement that feels stable and a retirement that feels like a slow financial emergency. And this is the part people don't want to admit. Your retirement number is not just about how much you saved. It's about when life forces you to start using it. Because $1 million at age 70 is not the same as $1 million at age 55. $1 million with Social Security is not the same as $1 million without it. $1 million with a paid-off home is not the same as $1 million with rent rising every year. $1 million in a low-cost town is not the same as $1 million in a high-cost city. Same number, different life, different pressure, different outcome. And if you want to see how broken the retirement dream has become, look at Gen X. This is the generation getting closer and closer to retirement age, and many of them are realizing the old plan did not work the way it was advertised. They were told to save, invest, work hard, and eventually the math would take care of itself. But for a lot of them, the math is not taking care of itself. CBS reported that the average retirement savings of Gen X households is around $150,000. At the same time, Americans now believe they need roughly $1.46 million to retire comfortably. That gap is not a small mistake. That is an entire missing retirement. And here's the part that makes it even more brutal. About 1 in 5 Gen Xers worry they still couldn't afford to stop working even if they saved $1 million. Think about how psychologically insane that is. For decades, $1 million was sold as the finish line. Now people are getting close enough to see the finish line clearly, and they're realizing it might not be enough. That does something to your brain. Because if the old dream was, become a millionaire and you're safe, the new reality is, become a millionaire and maybe you still have to worry. That's a very different kind of retirement story. And then, while millions of normal people are trying to solve this problem in real life, Elon Musk throws out one of the most controversial retirement takes of the decade. He suggested that because of AI, robotics, and future abundance, saving for retirement may not matter in 10 or 20 years. In his words, it won't matter. And look, maybe the technology does change everything. Maybe AI creates productivity that most people today can't even imagine. Maybe costs fall. Maybe work changes. Maybe the future looks completely different. But here's the dangerous part. You don't get to pay today's medical bills with tomorrow's utopia. You don't get to cover rent, insurance, groceries, prescriptions, and long-term care with a prediction. And you definitely don't build a retirement plan around the assumption that robots will fix the economy before your money runs out. That's not planning. That's gambling with your future self. And that's why a lot of finance experts pushed back hard. Not because technology doesn't matter, it does, but because even if AI creates more wealth, that doesn't mean the wealth reaches you evenly, predictably, or in time for your retirement. The future might be abundant, but your bills are still due in dollars. And until that changes, you need a plan that works in the world you actually live in, not the world a billionaire imagines on a podcast. This is where the million-dollar lie becomes even clearer. Because whether the number is 1 million, 1.5 million, or 2 million, the mistake is the same. People keep looking for a magic number to replace real planning. They want one target that makes the fear go away. But retirement doesn't work like that. A number can't tell you whether your spending is flexible. A number can't tell you whether your healthcare is planned for. A number can't tell you whether your spouse is on the same page. A number can't tell you whether your withdrawals can survive a market crash. A number can't tell you whether your house is helping your retirement or quietly draining it. A number can't tell you whether you'll panic and sell at the worst possible time. A number can't tell you whether your life is built to survive uncertainty, and uncertainty is the entire game. That's why some people retire comfortably with less than $1 million. And that sounds impossible until you understand why. They don't have the biggest portfolio, they have the least fragile life. No mortgage, no consumer debt, low fixed expenses, flexible spending, a modest lifestyle, a clear social security strategy, maybe a small pension, maybe part-time income they actually enjoy, maybe a paid-off home in a lower-cost area, maybe fewer things they feel the need to prove. Their life doesn't demand that much from the portfolio. So even if the account balance is smaller, the retirement feels bigger. And that is the part the million-dollar myth hides. Freedom is not just about how much you have, it's about how much your life demands. Someone with $750,000 and a simple paid-off life can feel wealthier than someone with $1.5 million and a lifestyle that bleeds money every month. Because wealth is not just assets, it's distance from panic. It's room. Room to absorb a bad year. Room to handle a medical surprise. Room to cut spending without destroying your identity. Room to let the market recover. Room to say no. Room to breathe. That's real wealth, not the number. The room. And this is where most retirement advice gets the order wrong. It tells you to obsess over the pile. Get to $500,000. Get to $1 million. Get to $2 million. But the pile is only one side of the equation. The other side is the life attached to it. And sometimes the life is the real problem. The expensive house is the problem. The car payment is the problem. The adult-child dependency is the problem. The refusal to downsize is the problem. The taxes are the problem. The healthcare blind spot is the problem. The identity built around looking successful is the problem. Because if your lifestyle was designed to impress people while you were working, it might punish you when you retire. That's harsh, but it's true. A lot of people don't retire into freedom. They retire into the lifestyle they never learned how to control. And then they blame the portfolio. But the portfolio wasn't the only problem. The pressure placed on it was. This is why I don't love the question, is $1 million enough to retire? It sounds smart, but it's too simple. A better question is, what kind of life am I asking this money to support? Because if the answer is a paid-off, low-debt, flexible life, then $1 million might be more powerful than you think. But if the answer is a high-cost, high-pressure, fixed-expense lifestyle with no room for error, then $1 million might be weaker than you think. And this is where the real planning begins. Not with the balance, with the system. A real retirement plan has layers: portfolio income, social security, tax strategy, healthcare planning, emergency cash, flexible spending, debt control, housing decisions, withdrawal rules, and enough margin that one bad year doesn't destroy the whole thing. That's not as sexy as saying, become a millionaire, but it's a lot more real. Because nobody retires on a net worth statement. You retire on cash flow. You retire on decisions. You retire on margins. You retire on how much can go wrong before your life starts breaking. And if that sounds less exciting, good. Retirement should not be built on excitement. It should be built on resilience. The goal is not to hit a pretty number and hope everything works out. The goal is to build a life where your money has a fighting chance. So yes, $1 million can change your life. It can give you options. It can give you breathing room. It can put distance between you and panic. It can be the difference between being trapped and having choices. But it is not magic. It does not automatically create freedom. It does not automatically become income. It does not automatically protect you from inflation, healthcare, taxes, market crashes, or a life that costs too much to maintain. $1 million is a tool, a powerful tool. But if you attach that tool to a fragile life, it can still break. And that's the lie nobody talks about. Not that $1 million is worthless. It's not. The lie is that $1 million alone is enough. It might be, it might not be. The number doesn't answer that. Your life does. So before you ask, when will I hit $1 million? Ask something better. If I hit it, would I actually be free? Could my money survive my lifestyle? Could my plan survive a bad market? Could my budget survive a health shock? Could my future self sleep at night? Because your future self is not counting on you to chase a pretty number. They're counting on you to build a life that number can actually support. And trust me, they'll thank you for that.